Hey there, my name's Chanel. If you're new here, I'm the amigurumi designer behind CB Fiberworks, and in today's video we are going to be talking about hook grips. Now, you may have seen the Chunky Boy hook grips. I've already done a review on these. I'll link the blog post down below, but I've recently come across another silicone type hook grip from Comfort Crochet by Will, and I really think that you guys need to check these out. So today we are going to be doing a review of these hook grips. Quick disclaimer, I was contacted by William from Comfort Crochet, and he offered to send me 2 of his hook grips to test out. I'm not affiliated with him, and this isn't a sponsored video, nothing like that. This is honestly just my opinion of his hook grips, and I wanted to support another small business. So, that going forward, he surprised me and sent me 2 hook grips in the color Ocean Blue. So he has hook grips that come in a large size and a small size, and they fit hooks ranging from small, medium to large. The small fits 2.5 millimeter to 4 millimeter. The medium fits 4.5 millimeter to 6 millimeter, and the large fits the 6.5 to 8 millimeter hooks. So I got the medium ones. And normally I use much smaller hooks. I would probably need these small hook grips to use these consistently. But I figured, you know what, let's give it a try. And I wanted to go ahead and use my 4.5 millimeter hook to make one of those sample projects. So I will get into that in a little bit, but let's take a look at these hook grips. So they come packaged in these cute little drawstring bags. And I really like the color. I did notice immediately that there are these little bits of silicone. You can see it. Where the mold has kind of stuck. But honestly, I don't know anything about silicone casting, so that might just be like a normal part of the process. And honestly, when you're like gripping it, it doesn't feel like anything. So it's not like it's gonna affect the actual hook in your hand. And the small grip, ooh, almost dropped it, is the same, a little bit thinner. Honestly, immediately I was drawn to the big one because I feel like this is going to keep my hand from clenching down too much. But this hook grip is the size of my other favorite hook, which is not on my desk, but so I don't know. I'm going to give both of these a try and kind of see which one feels better for me, which one kind of reduces the hand pain the most. So let's get some hooks in these. Okay, so we've got our large hook grip here, and the instructions say to use a dab of soap, which I put a little bit of soap in this little ramekin, and we're going to rub the soap onto the hook just so that it gets in a little bit easier. Okay, that hurts a little bit. I'm gonna use this towel as a buffer. Okay, I had to push fairly hard to get that in, and got a nice little dent on my palm for it. But honestly, it wasn't that bad. I have bent hooks putting them into grips like this before. So I'm gonna wipe off the excess of that soap. And you can actually adjust this. You could pull the hook out a little bit more if you want a longer neck to work with, or you can push it in depending on your style. And the hook actually comes with a cool little extractor. It's very simple. It's just a knotted cord. One end is kind of burned so that it doesn't unravel, like so. And the other end has a loop. And how you go ahead and use this is just hook the loop around the head of the hook and pull it out, like so. I'm not going to pull it all the way out because I actually do want to use this, but it actually works pretty effectively, and I would definitely recommend, and as well as William recommends, to only use metal hooks when you're doing this, because that will for sure snap the head off of a resin, wood, or plastic hook. So I'll push this back in. Now overall, starting with the large grip hook, I like the feel of this in my hand. Strangely enough, this is going to sound so weird, but the silicone is very matte and it gives it kind of a dry feeling, which I know it's kind of hard to understand, but because it doesn't feel super slick and shiny, I don't know about you, but my hands sweat when I crochet for a long time. So this actually feels really comfortable, and I'm not feeling like I'm just getting a ton of like slickness, I guess, on my hand. That sounds gross. I'm sorry. Okay. Anyway, so let's hop into a test project. Like I said earlier in the video, I don't typically use hooks as big as a 4.5 millimeter, so I was kind of limited on what yarns I could pick. Thankfully though, I had some leftover chunky yarn for making beanies for Christmas, and since I had the right colors, I figured why not celebrate Valentine's Day as it's coming up and make a Sia the strawberry squid. And this pattern is actually really fun and easy to work up, so I went ahead and immediately started on the body. I have to admit, the hook grip felt pretty great in my hand. I was actually able to crochet for several hours, which is rare for me. Usually I can go about 30 minutes before my hand starts cramping. So I was actually able to finish this whole project in about 2 days, and that's very quick for me. And my hand really wasn't hurting as much, so I think it's definitely a success for that larger grip. And this is the finished project. This Sia the squid is very big because I used chunky yarn and double-stranded for some of the parts, but overall I'd say the large grip was definitely a success. Definitely felt great to use. Next up, I wanted to give the smaller grip a try, so I put the same 4.5 millimeter hook inside, and for some reason this one was a little bit tougher to push in, but I think that might have been because I forgot to use the soap this time, so on me. Anyway, I still had more of this red chunky yarn left over, and I figured why not make a heart. I totally freehanded the entire thing, and if at the end, if you would like a free pattern for this mini heart, go ahead and let me know in the comments. I'd be happy to write one, but it was fairly simple, like I just made it up. As a side note, I totally realized that this shape could end up being a really good base for like a Hershey's Kiss too, so I don't know, there's another option there. While this project wasn't nearly as elaborate as the strawberry squid, it worked up quickly, and I feel like it gave me a good understanding of how the hook was going to feel in my hand for long periods of time. I did notice that my index finger was starting to cramp a little bit, and I think that has more to do with there not being as much to hold on to near the tip of the hook, which is honestly just the way I crochet, so this might be different for you. But I think it did help me keep my tension better, and the smaller grip was a little bit more familiar in my hand than the larger one. So here's the finished heart. I worked it up in about 30 minutes or so, pretty quick for me. And I think the smaller grip is pretty good for keeping a tighter tension. It was more familiar in my hand, although I did have a little bit more hand pain than I did with the larger grip. Okay, so after testing out both of the hook grips, I think I personally prefer the larger one, especially because I do use a knife grip when I crochet, because I did get a little bit more hand pain with the smaller grip. However, I think this one would work better if you are a pencil grip crocheter rather than this one. But it's totally up to you. This is just my opinion. I personally had way less hand pain using the larger one. The only downside was that it was a little bit awkward to get small details while I was crocheting, specifically because there's some awkward parts to working some of these leaves on here. But anyway, so if you want to check these out for yourself, I will link the Comfort Crochet Etsy shop from William in my description box below. He sells these for $14 a piece, which is really affordable, and it's actually way more affordable than handmade crochet hooks, although I do love them so much. They are definitely expensive, worth it, but expensive. So if you want to do a hook grip that is going to help your ergonomic, or it's going to help your hand pain, I would definitely recommend checking these out. These are really well made, and honestly, I think I want to buy a set with the smaller hook size fitting. That way I can actually use them a little bit more often. And you can check out more about all of this if you'd like to read the entire blog post where I kind of go a little bit more, even more in detail than I did here, about my review on the hook grips. That's going to also be linked below. I hope you enjoyed this video. Go ahead and like and subscribe, and go show William from Comfort Crochet some love. Y'all have a good day, and I'll see you next time.